Right now it's 6. Why the case of a former police detective charged with official misconduct could have a ripple effect on a high-profile murder trial. Plus,
there was a cougar sighting 2 times in one day in a neighborhood that's near a park.
Where a cougar was spotted and caught on camera right in the middle of a Portland suburb. And later,
I see hundreds of tires on the barge, and I'm surprised how many there are.
How the state of Washington is now trying to right a decades-long environmental wrong. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. We begin tonight with an update on a New Year's Day stabbing inside a Southeast Portland Safeway. Police say the suspect attacked a 77-year-old man in the supermarket restroom in the Palhurst-Gilbert neighborhood, and this afternoon that suspect made his first court appearance. Court records show he's already served time for a similar crime. Tim Gordon's here with the details. Tim?
Yeah, David, court records show the same man was convicted of stabbing another person several years ago, and since being released from prison, he is back in trouble and behind bars. Well, let's first talk about the 77-year-old man stabbed on New Year's Day. He was treated at the hospital for serious injuries. Thankfully, he will survive. The man police say stabbed him is 51-year-old Christopher Woods. You see him coming into the court just a few hours ago in downtown Portland. He's facing first-degree assault and robbery charges. This stems from the incident yesterday morning at the Safeway store near Southeast Powell and 122nd Avenue. Officers who responded learned that the victim was robbed and stabbed in the store's restroom, and the suspect fled. Police tracked Woods down an hour and a half later and arrested him. Now, we mentioned Woods was convicted in another stabbing. That happened in May of 2017, injuring a young woman on a Max platform near Holiday Park in Northeast Portland. She survived, and Woods served time for a felony conviction in that case. Now, court records show he was convicted again this past November on a burglary charge. On the latest stabbing and robbery case, Woods' next court appearance is Monday, where a judge will decide if he should stay in jail leading up to his trial. David?
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you digging into that for us. To a follow-up now to a KGW investigation into a former Beaverton police detective charged with official misconduct who also made his first court appearance today. Investigative reporter Kyle Aboshi was there and joins us in the newsroom. Kyle?
Well, Detective Michael Bollock's resignation and subsequent criminal charges have raised new questions in a high-profile murder case in Beaverton where he was a lead detective.
Michael Bollock left the courtroom with his lawyer and declined to comment following a brief hearing Friday. The former Beaverton police detective is facing 6 counts of official misconduct in the first degree. According to an indictment, Bollock solicited sexually explicit photos obtained under the false pretense of official Beaverton Police Department purposes. He's also accused of unauthorized, unofficial use of the Beaverton Police Department badge. 4 of the misdemeanor charges involved unauthorized use of an official vehicle at various locations. Bollock resigned from Beaverton Police on November 3rd, but his pending criminal charges have drawn new scrutiny to a highly publicized murder case in Beaverton where he was a lead detective. Court records show that Bollock wrote search warrants and testified before the grand jury in the Bryce Schubert case. Schubert is accused of killing his neighbor, Beaverton nurse Melissa Jubain. The former detective's absence and questions about his credibility may become a significant issue in the case, scheduled to go to trial in March. Former Detective Bollock's future availability as a court witness is being carefully determined by our Conviction Integrity Committee, said a spokesperson for the Washington County District Attorney's Office.
Bollock's next court date in the official misconduct case is February 4th.
Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate the follow-up. All right, let's take you outside now with a live look at the Rose City. 44 degrees on this second day of a brand new year. A pretty gloomy, though, of course, not unusual start, of course, to 2026. Let's bring in Celine Stevens in for Matt with a quick look at your first forecast as we head into the weekend. Happy Friday, Celine.
Happy Friday, David. Yeah, our first weekend of the new year, and it will be a little bit rainy, but not too rainy. It'll be light rain. We'll have temperatures in the 50s. It won't be so bad. And right now, temperatures, though, 44 degrees at the moment. Winds coming in the northwest at 3 miles per hour. And looking at our radar, we were dealing with some shower activity just 20-30 minutes ago, and now that's pretty much started to move on and clear up. We've been dealing with these little spurts of rain throughout the day. As you can see now, the 6 o'clock hour, we're back to being dry. And so it's going to continue like that pretty much for the rest of our evening. Come the weekend, we'll deal with more widespread rainfall, but again, it should remain mostly light. Looking at our watches and warnings, nothing to worry about locally, which is good news. Along the coast, I'll point out we do have a coastal flood advisory that'll go into effect tomorrow. That'll be for areas like Tillamook, other areas along the coast. There is a potential for some light flooding and tidal overflowing. So those are some things to look out for. And then there's also going to be a wind advisory for certain areas down south, but the real thing we'd be looking at is the winter weather advisory, and that's going to be for areas like Crater Lake and the south central Oregon Cascades. They could see 5 to 10 inches of snow. Their wind gusts getting up to around 45 miles per hour. That's for tomorrow into Sunday. We're just looking at rain this weekend. Not a lot of snow either, and I know that's something people are looking out for, but rain looks like all the way through the weekend, even into next week. The good news is we're looking at a decent amount of snowfall coming to the Cascades as soon as Tuesday. We'll talk more about it in a bit.
And boy, do we need it. Thanks, Celine. In your headlines tonight, deputies say a man with a knife tried to kidnap a baby at the Cornelius Walmart. The Washington County Sheriff's Office says Dennis Villalobos, at both the top left and top right of your screen here in these images, tried to take the 9-month-old from a stroller on the Sunday before Christmas, but the infant's father stopped him. Authorities say dad was injured during that confrontation and that Villalobos pulled a knife but dropped it. A Forest Grove police officer arrested him a short time later. Villalobos is charged with attempted kidnapping, assault, unlawful use of a weapon, and menacing. In Newport, 2 men are dead and another is in critical condition following separate stabbings and a shooting. Authorities say someone inside a home along Highway 101 called police saying one man was stabbing another. That's when the concerned citizen shot the man with the knife, killing him. The stabbing victim is in critical condition. That investigation led officers about a half-mile north, where they found another man dead from stab wounds. Police say there is no danger to the public. The Washington County Sheriff's Office is searching for more potential victims after they arrested a man accused of sexually assaulting a woman near a park. 36-year-old Andrew Graham is accused of meeting his victim on a dating app, then assaulting her near Southwest Portland's Metzger Park. Undercover detectives say Graham also expressed wanting to meet a child to pay for sex. The suspect is now facing several charges, including sexual solicitation. And in Southeast Portland, homicide investigators are now trying to figure out what happened to a man found dead in Johnson Creek. The body of 32-year-old Jamal Rogers was discovered on Tuesday near one of the Springwater Trail crossings. The medical examiners ruled his death a homicide. So far, there's no word on exactly how he died or information on suspects. Caught on camera, a cougar wandering through a backyard in Oregon City. There it is. Police say the animal was spotted more than once and in the same area. John Goodwin talked with neighbors there who are on high alert.
Check out this home surveillance video from Oregon City. A cougar wandering through a midtown neighborhood on New Year's Day.
The caller reported seeing the cougar at 7 o'clock yesterday on their property and then again around 6 p.m.
Sergeant Kevin Carlson with Oregon City Police says while cougar sightings are not uncommon in the area, the location stood out.
This caller lives right in the middle of town, so that was the concern today, and the reason for putting out the information was that there was a cougar sighting 2 times in one day in a neighborhood that's near a park.
The video was taken east of Singer Creek Park in this neighborhood.
I heard it literally like right here.
Sophia Verrett lives right next to the park. She says she's used to hearing coyotes, but lately she's been hearing a different sound.
I've heard it the last 2 nights around 5 a.m. like a chirping, screeching, like an animal was being tortured sound. It kind of even sounded like somebody was really hurt and they were crying.
The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife says it is actively monitoring the situation, but is not attempting to capture the animal at this time.
With families and people with kids, they're out here, they're playing, and just want them to be relocated somewhere so we're safe here.
ODFW says there have been no reports of behavior that would indicate a threat to human safety, such as approaching people or pets, or multiple daytime sightings near homes. Police say right now, this is about awareness.
If you have frequent contacts or a near encounter, please report that right away, but otherwise it's something you can refer to ODFW.
And knowing when to call for help.
If we start seeing this animal multiple times by people, or it approaches you or your animals, that's something where you'd want to call 911.
In Oregon City, John Goodwin, KGW News.
All right, let's look to the week ahead now. We're going to be watching Portland City Council closely when they return to City Hall. One of the first things on the agenda, to elect the next council president and vice president. Yeah, it's already been a year, right? Current council president Alana Pirtle-Guinea is expected to be in the running there, and as of yet, no clear challenger has stepped forward. Same goes for council vice president Tiffany Koyama Lane. 7 votes are required to win the presidency, whose power includes setting council's agenda. You may remember Pirtle-Guinea was not the first choice at this time last year, but was a compromise candidate who finally won out in the 9th round of voting. We'll see how many it takes this time, right?